let off 223s. Wild eyes be ducking, bounce out on them, I'm waving the buttons. Man, so we finna get into this reaction, man. You already know what we reacted to, man. It's Tommy G, The World of Ghost Guns. I ain't watch it yet, but we finna get into it. We got good eats. Let's get into it.
I think access to the firearm is a fundamental human dignity. It's a fundamental human right.
30-year-old Cody Wilson is a self-described gun rights advocate and crypto-anarchist, which means he believes in decentralization of information. He's also been labeled one of the most dangerous people in the world.
How many times have you been sued in this business?
I can't count. I can't count. Half the states in this country have sued me, this so-called free country.
What got you into 3D printing guns?
When I got my cease and desist from ATF.
If ATF kicked in your door and they found this, what kind of time would you be looking at, you think?
I don't even know.
You think double digits?
Probably, yeah.
How do you walk the line between freedom and danger?
It is a line, and we stay within a conscious vocabulary because in American libertarian politics and political life, the gun is an important thing. I'm on your side if you like the Second Amendment. It's more important for me to convey that than some deeper feeling about these things.
Ghost guns, untraceable weapons, a threat to the system. And thanks to advancements in 3D printing, the power to create a gun has
They
been
got a decent amount of
democratized to
guns
anyone
right
with
there.
a couple $1,000s. Now,
What the
is
fuck
this
is
a
that?
Second Amendment right that the founding fathers outlined for us in the Constitution, or is this a dangerous public safety nightmare that
steak
needs to be heavily regulated or
folks.
altogether outlawed? Today, we take a deep dive into this world. We sit down with Cody Wilson, a controversial figure who invented and printed the first 3D gun, and he currently runs the biggest ghost gun company in the United States. We speak with Michael Cargill, a gun rights activist who took on the ATF all the way to the Supreme Court and won. And finally, we go underground to interview a 3D gun printer running a highly illegal ghost gun enterprise. But before we start, first a quick disclaimer and a message from our sponsor. This video is for documentary purposes only and should not be viewed as a guide for manufacturing weapons. Please consult and adhere to all applicable laws regarding firearm ownership in your area. Thank you. And now for the sponsor of today's video. Today's video is sponsored by CyberGhost VPN. With over 38 million users, CyberGhost is one of the most trusted VPNs on the market. It has a near perfect rating on Trustpilot, and PCMag rated it as excellent. Fortunately for most of us watching this, incognito mode does not protect you. Your internet provider, Wi-Fi, workplace can still track your movements even with incognito. The bad news is, I guess I'm not running for Congress anymore. But the good news is, there's a way to protect yourself going forward. This is where CyberGhost VPN comes in. It encrypts your internet traffic and reroutes it through secure...
Y'all might ask, what the fuck is my Bev? The fuck what he talking about?
Gentlemen,
Tommy G,
Cody, good to meet you, brother.
good morning.
I'm gonna get a
We're in the
Bev in a
headquarters
minute.
right now.
This is DDHQ.
I traveled to Austin, Texas to meet a man who back in 2012 was named one of the most dangerous people in the world by Wired magazine. Why was this? Because he issued a dangerous promise that he would create the technology to print a lethal firearm from home and give that design out for free. And in 2013, he did just that when he released the design for a printed gun called the Liberator. The federal government did not like that one bit.
Today, the judge ordered Cody Wilson and his company, Defense Distributed, to remove the blueprints from the internet.
Now, the federal government immediately declared war on him, threatening him with years in prison and millions in fines. So what did he do? He fought back, and he sued the United States government and won. Folks, this is Cody Wilson, the godfather of the ghost gun.
Okay.
These guys are pretending to work.
Just more so eating donuts than really working?
That's right, and I'm pretending to manage their pretend work.
And I'm pretending to be a documentary film crew, so I feel like we're
Yes,
meshing
yes,
perfectly.
exactly. I'm pretending to be documented. So welcome to DDHQ, man.
Thanks for having us.
It's a mix of hobby and commercial product, right? So we got to do a little bit of customer service. We got to do a little product R&D because some people don't want the service. They want to go off on their own and do it. And it's a mix of 3D printing, CNC milling, and then what we call 80% receivers, which have been very popular in the last couple of years. These things are made here, they're serviced here, they're developed and tested here.
What does that flag represent?
This is a Texan flag, all right? This is called the Goliad flag, or sometimes called Philip Dimmitt's bloody arm flag. But it flew at La Bahia, at the beginning of the Texan Revolution.
I still
I
don't
come from the
understand what this
American
nigga
libertarian
trying to tell
tradition,
me.
which is older than just America. It's an Anglo-American tradition. I come from that. I'm one of its logical consequences. And so in some respects, I'm just a shit lib living in America.
When you really came onto the scene about 7 years ago, there was a lot of media about you. What has changed in your ideology or your mission in the last 7 years?
I've become more cynical, but I've also become more practical. And whereas I might have been an idealist in both like a normal sense and as a philosopher, now I'm a realist. I believe that guns are real objects. And I believe that just because they're real objects, that doesn't mean we can understand them. And what we've demonstrated in this company alone has been that the more the law tries to attach to or understand these real objects, the more invisible and withdrawn they become from us.
Like I was just thinking on the drive here, what would our founding fathers think if they saw what is happening
Bro, who the
in our
fuck is
government
that?
right now, where so many of our
Yo.
politicians are bought, so many
Who
of
the
our
fuck is that?
politicians are motivated by greed, so many of our politicians are
Capo.
making laws that make it harder for the business owners, the working class people to thrive in this country. They would have stuck a musket up.
It's LMF
promotion
Capo, man.
tax, all these people that are insider trading, all these people that are
Why the
passing
fuck did you
laws,
smacking them out
they
here?
would have put them out in the street.
'Cause I'm eating better food
where
than you.
the American
No, you
people
not.
are right now. And
Yes, I am.
the potential for revolution. How would you grade the situation, the climate?
I just came from a 5-star restaurant, man.
It's dead. I mean, the American people, let's say of the Revolutionary period,
Bro, Baba's been fast,
they were
dog.
an interesting, bloody,
You said what?
and we want to
Baba has been 5 stars.
and think that they were noble. And of course, there's nobility in their violence. But
You eating Babas?
They were an aggressive
Yep.
kind of people.
How many
That shit nasty as hell.
I can't count. I literally can't count.
Oh, bro. Hey, JC, you thought I just affirmed my shit off our screen?
I didn't even see that bit.
Look at my screen, nigga.
What is nominally permitted,
You got
My
wait.
wife
what
was
is
his ass
sanctioned,
grab one of them bitches on bro. He grabbed this shit like a week
Hey,
before my shit.
JC, look at my screen.
is the assembly of a certain kind of
Man, you know that
business
you know nigga that
okay?
be reacting to my
Because what we
post and
like to
shit.
make
You see my shit, little bro?
for the
You
youth
got
White
wait.
boy, I worked too. I met him when I
a
was outside,
capacity
man.
to
He gotta
finish
go at the ring
gun
though.
parts.
You give them the
My keyboard
bones
not
and
even on my
skeleton,
desk.
Yeah.
but they breathe the life into the.
Look on my screen,
Damn,
little
you
bro.
got the Durango.
Sometimes
Yeah,
they have to
outside,
do
bag
it,
shit.
or let's say take a few things away because you know the diamond is in the rough, right?
Y'all just
They gotta
came up
move
out the
some of that rough
Durango?
around, and that's what this.
Bro bought this bitch. This bitch not stolen.
Distributed mace is a milling machine called
Look,
Ghost Gunner.
tell him we can't get them.
Oh, bro. We having that shit. Hey, JC.
Layer by layer, this machine
My cousin got a
We got
Durango.
21.
carve away metal. It takes a raw block of aluminum and precisely
27.
mills it down to the intended firearm component, giving the owner of this printer
G2.
the
Wait, where
ability
you
to
see those
create
screen on?
gun
Oh, this
parts
right
as
here.
they
Let me
please.
show you this shit.
This is Jayoma. He's a notorious Texas
Oh, the
player
other
known
piece
for
in the
being
mortal
absolute
shit.
super threats off with little to no jail
Hey.
time. He comments on
Back
what he's
with-
seen in Texas representing murder cases and his overall understanding of the legality of ghost guns.
If I were to
His
buy
ass
a
just came in here
weapon
to
right now
flex.
at a local gun store, it has to be registered. If I buy a gun, it's probably been shot already.
That shit
And
bogus.
Each time a gun is shot, it leaves a fingerprint or like an imprint on the shell casings. And that
Why he
shell
just flex on us
casing
like
is
that?
connected to that gun. So anytime
What?
that shell casing
I'm
or a
talking
similar
about this
shell
dude.
casing is found in any type of criminal case, they're gonna link it to that gun, right?
Right.
So
What you
when
say?
ghost guns come in handy is that
This
it doesn't
Asian nigga
really
pretty smart.
register at all. So
What he saying?
it just
you
prevents
watched it, you
the
would know.
police from investigating that portion of where
I'm looking at
they're
this girl,
linking that shell
Paulina.
casing to
She thick as
specific-
hell.
I ain't gonna lie.
Printing world, we're now going to meet with a guy that does it on a very small scale and ask him questions about what he does. But it's very sketchy, the area that he's in. There's a lot of federal pressure right now. And so we are parking our
You talking
car
about she got better
in
food
an
than you.
undisclosed location. in the
Look at
United
this shit.
States,
Oh, bro.
And he's going to come pick us up with our cell phone.
That shit look nasty.
And take us to
No, it's not. You gotta
where we'll
look
see the
at
3D
this shit.
printing of the guns. It just makes me think that there's kind of this two.
What's that? What's that pink shit?
And I get
Look at
both
this
sides,
tomatoes.
but it's
Ew.
if you're a massive
love
weapons
tomatoes.
manufacturer with a publicly traded stock, you can do this in broad daylight and make billions of dollars doing it. But a mom and pop shop doing it and believing the same Second Amendment. That
Yeah,
the
that's a
major
big
manufacturer
Glock
believes in,
21, but my
have
Glock
to
10 big.
hide under the fear that they might get arrested by the ATF.
I'm
or
on
some three-letter
silent.
agency.
And that's a big
I ain't
ass
gonna lie, I'm
Glock
full
21.
as hell.
What are you in the business of?
I build guns,
You already smoked, gang?
occasionally sell them.
So you customize guns
I
mostly
ain't
in
got
the
no more
3D
Zar.
printing space?
Yeah.
You ain't got no more Zar.
But then once a whole crazy.
What you finna do?
I don't know.
That's when I got us a 3D printing. And also like stocked up on them.
What got you into 3D printing guns?
You finna cop some tomorrow?
That's when you started printing guns?
Yeah, out of just pure.
You finna cop some right now?
Like passion for guns.
And what did they ask you to cease and desist from?
So basically,
I'm not even gonna say this shit right now. No, I said I'm not gonna cop nothing right now.
Unannounced, inspectors for habits.
And are you going to say vaguely why that is?
It ended up in the wrong hands.
And did it end in a casualty?
It did, yeah.
Okay, so this thing looks already to be like a substantial piece, and I'd flip that around.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'm a gun expert, by the way, guys.
All right, this is an unfinished receiver. The big guys for the military, just like the little guys, traffic in this same object. But it's an unregulated object. Even though it looks like it's already well on its way to being something serious or something legal or regulated, it is not.
When you say the military guys traffic this stuff, what do you mean?
There's an economy of objects like this, both an above ground and an underground economy. This economy happens because the main large-scale prime contractor manufacturers, they need unfinished goods just like the rest of us. That's modern capitalism. So they might go to Eastern Europe or they might go to Taiwan and they would say, hey, you can contract manufacture this for me, import it into the United States, and you can do all this stuff to it. And it's still not done and it's still not really selling yet until I, the manufacturer, touch it. And that keeps things going. But it also is like the thing that keeps this entire underground economy going, because these objects already existed, always existed outside the law. And now the at-home user wants them as much as the prime contract manufacturers.
Talk to me about some of your favorite 3D printed guns on the table.
So this one I actually just did last night. And
What? Hey, look at this video, Bono.
What?
So the whole
This
thing is
yeah,
3D
so
printed.
that whole lower is
Look how he stole this nigga car.
put together the parts kit.
So you have to add the metal in yourself?
Yeah, and then you have to get when you're 3D printing, you gotta get the tolerances just right.
And a machine like that takes a whole day to do just this.
Yeah, there are faster ones, but that machine is meant more for stronger materials, so it does take a bit longer.
You want to see a ghost gun?
Yeah. Do y'all see this? See how beautiful this is and very customizable? I like it. So you're just missing the top part, right?
Yeah.
But this right here looks just like how mine would look like on the inside. What I see is like threat financially to the gun manufacturers, saying there's no way we can make money off of these people anymore.
Folks, for context, we are currently in the middle of a golden age for weapons manufacturers. In 2024, companies like Raytheon logged record-breaking profits, with their stock price seeming to match the upward trend of deaths in Gaza. And it begs the question, why is the law so swift to crush an individual for creating a ghost gun in his garage, yet silent when there are arguably companies contributing to war crimes in places like Israel? And some say it feels like a two-tier justice system, where the individual gets a prison sentence while the corporate interests make annual profits in the billions. I look at ghost guns in a very similar way that I look at magic mushrooms, which is part of me thinks everyone should have the right and access to use those things as they wish as a free American. But the other part of me is aware that these things are sacred and dangerous and have a lot of power, and you should be careful. So how do you walk the line between freedom and danger?
It is a line. And we stay within a conscious vocabulary because in American libertarian politics and political life, the gun is an important thing. It's a revered thing. There's a certain American civic religion about the firearm. And we try to honor that and keep that language so that people understand that we're friendlies. I'm on your side if you like the Second Amendment. I'm on your side, right? It's more important for me to convey that than some deeper feeling about these things. The gun is some kind of centerpiece of a psychodrama, of a legal drama, of the evolution of the change of our state, world states, the role of the individual in society. Everything is at stake with these things. And I see California, states that would nominally be free, nominally have some of this conversation with you, attempting things that I would not believe to be possible just 5 years ago. It's breathtaking to me, and it feels like a civil war to me.
Walk us through what we're looking at right here.
Yeah, all right, fine. This is the G80 system.
What he's referring to, the G80, is the nickname of a Glock-compatible 80% frame. And they say 80% because it's an unfinished piece of high-strength plastic that looks like a grip but isn't legally a firearm yet. To make it functional, you simply have to cut away the blocking material, drill the pinholes, and add the trigger group, firing pin, and slide. And this is the innovation that Cody wants the masses to have access to 3D print.
This is the brand new thing we're doing, which combines all the techniques and learning and everything we've synthesized over the past few years, okay? So it's a little bit of printing, it's a little bit of milling, right? You print this part at home, you mill this part at home, or finish it by hand with some fixtures.
This is where both of your systems kind of intermesh.
That's right, because the law moved.
Loud.
The law said a part like this looks too much like a gun. So now no one can sell you something like this to finish, all right? So you have to take this thing and remove it from the legal context. This has to become information. Now the gun part has to become this strange, unidentifiable, not clearly convertible component. Does this look like anything to you necessarily, you know? If you saw this like in a fucking trash can, would you be like, oh, I found a firearm? It becomes more illegible, and that's our task. Our task is to always create more and more ambiguous objects and products.
So this could be done way more simply, but you, in order to go within the rule of the law, you have to keep making it more and more obscure.
Yes, because the law chases this object.
To a person that has never heard of the G80, just give us a breakdown.
The G80 is the next system in unfinished 80% firearms, okay? The law says, well, all we know, this is the Supreme Court of the United States, and its supreme legislation says, well, all we know is it needs to take longer than an hour to make, and it probably shouldn't look like a gun when you start. Thank you, Supreme Court. Okay, well, we follow the supreme guidance of the Supreme Court, and we say it takes longer than an hour to make, it doesn't look like a gun, your grandma wouldn't necessarily know what it is, therefore it complies. And of course, California, Gavin Newsom, President Newsom, will crush the shit out of us when we're a successful company. And the next company will come in and say, well, this is the tweak that we've made. And that's what you can look forward to in developing guns in this country.
Right. Just as a switch carries a high penalty, I believe.
Why the fuck do he got this red ass outfit on?
Does a ghost gun carry
He
a
look like he
similar
be gambling
enhanced penalty?
I haven't seen enhanced penalties. I have, in my experience, I have not, because a firearm is still a firearm as long as you can prove that this is an object that can kill people. So if I was a prosecutor, right? Switch it around. If I was a prosecutor and I'm going to argue that this defendant right here, this one right here, he killed somebody. Not only did he kill somebody with a gun, he killed somebody with a gun that was unregistered. This means this individual right here is trying to hide in Marcus' tracks. He needs to burn in prison. In fact, I'm going to ask you, the jury, to not only convict him, but to get the death penalty, because this exceeds just 99 years. He needs to pay. And people who commit crimes and wants to destroy the community and hide the killings that they do, they need to die. And in the state of Texas, we have the death penalty.
How much does the machine cost? How much does it cost to make this in materials, and what can you sell it for?
So that machine, at the time, it cost about $1,400, but I got it for about $900.
How much can you sell this for?
This completed, probably anywhere from $750 to $900.
And what kind of person is buying this?
Someone that's gonna throw it away.
Creating it is a hobbyist thing, but selling them, the guy that's buying it, usually has a particular reason.
You can kind of get the idea and assume.
And how do you feel about that?
I don't really. Does that make sense?
What if you posted once and your content appeared everywhere? YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and more. No copy pasting.
On the website of Cody's company, for free, they have dozens of files that can be downloaded and 3D printed into various gun components. And because it's on the internet, that means that it could be printed by a well-meaning, law-abiding hobbyist gun owner, but it also means that guys like Jay in his garage can build a weapon to sell to a guy planning a murder. And that, in a nutshell, is the crux of the controversy surrounding Cody's mission.
Okay, so this is interesting. So this is total downloads of just the digital product you guys have.
For the month, yeah.
For the month?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, we run the biggest file sharing site in the world on guns.
And of these almost 300,000 downloads, how many of them you think come to fruition with a real operable firearm?
Very few. And this map you're seeing here has gone one step further, and it says The files for these things cannot be left to be downloaded unrestricted to California.
About
to
monkey.
people in Washington.
So is your site blocked in California?
Yes, yes.
Similar to how Pornhub is blocked in Texas.
It's the same thing. People in the last few years.
How are you going to compare porn to guns?
It's the
Like,
same thing
this
now
is
with
just
other forms
crazy,
of information, not just porn. Now gun files are going to be restricted in different states in different ways on the internet. The internet itself is breaking up.
Your company was among the first to have a particular digital download, or the antecedent of what today is the Ghost Gun download. I don't know if I'm hitting that right, but can you?
No, it's interesting to.
I ain't gonna lie, his hairline pissing me off, bro. Like, why he ain't just get a line up before this video? Line this shit up right here. Cut this patch of hair out. And just make it long as hell. And then just... then line the beard up. Cause this motherfucker patchy too.
Let's see how you were talking about it. Yeah. Yeah. And actually, that's really smart because how it was talked about in 2013 was this is the first 3D printed gun. Well, what was the real innovation? I think it was the first 3D file for a 3D printable gun. It was the first gun you could go download. It was the first gun you could think of, hey, where do I get that gun? Oh yeah, I go online to get that gun. I'm gonna pull this out for you. This is actually the first 3D printed gun. This doesn't get a lot of love these days, but it's the Liberator. We named that gun that way to give it a big brand name, sure. To also give it a little historical echo, to give it a personality, because it conveyed that the guns of this future, of a 3D printable future, are guns with personality, are guns with meaning, with destiny. They're not just commercial products in the age of mechanical reproduction. Now they're strange spiritual products in the age of digital reproduction. You know, the guns are liquid information. That was the point of that message, the point of that exercise, and to also confuse the object in the Second Amendment with speech objects, speech action in the First Amendment, to blend that First and Second Amendment.
I'm
and to
just
say
over here with two jams, Jason.
Folks,
Maybe
here's
get
a
you
quick
two
refresher
jams
on
like
American
this,
history.
Jason.
The Second Amendment doesn't just say you can own a gun, it protects the right of people to keep and bear arms, stating clearly that this right shall not be infringed upon by the government. And these are the lines Cody uses to defend his position. He is essentially arguing that if the government stops you from making a gun, they are infringing on your right to bear one.
This represents the kind of murderer's row of the best guns. So FGC9 is probably the best known 3D printed gun, single 3D printed gun, very popular in Europe. 9mm PCCs have evolved since 2020. You know, one of the most recent is this Decker, which is a stranger looking gun, right? But it's more true to what 3D printed guns are. Some stuff, these things aren't as good as commercial guns, right? But there's something kind of amazing about the fact that you can 3D print a real magazine for real bullets. This is entirely printed with a spring. All right, this is the Urtal. This was designed by a developer in Brazil, and it's probably the most well-known recent printed PCC.
Can you show me the process for, like, from computer to hooking up to like how this gets going?
Yeah. Basically right here is all the files.
All these are schematics?
All these ones right here with like the labels on them, that say G-code, are ones that I've already made. So for example, this file right here.
How encrypted is all this?
I keep it on an external hard drive.
So it has to be plugged into something to even show up on the computer?
Yeah.
That's smart. Are the feds that good at computer stuff like this?
Yeah, they are.
And one of the reasons they are good is because they bust guys that are hackers and then get them on their team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this right here.
Oh, I like how it says for academia only. Situation is this. There's a Scientology has hired people that stalk my home, and I want to take care of them without any issues. Allegedly. Cult.
Cool. So, go into that file, and you basically just...
So that's it.
This is what it would print, and then you put the rest together yourself.
Now, what if I had a computer and I had only this? Forget all the ammo, explosives, all the crazy stuff. I just had a pistol, schematic. How much in trouble would I get? Without actually making it, just having that file on my computer.
You actually wouldn't, if it was, as long as it's not, like, fully auto or anything like that.
So it's legal to have?
Yeah, it's legal to make and for yourself, but not.
So for personal use, I could make that gun no issue?
Yes.
Exactly. No problems whatsoever?
No.
And then this hooks up to, you already sent the orders to the printer, so it's already, that's why it's going?
Yes.
And what is the printer making right now?
But right now it's making a Glock 17. So say you file for.
So there's no political motivation, there's no greater purpose or mission?
No, not really.
It's just kind of entertainment and fun?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it hard getting a girlfriend if this is one of your main hobbies?
Not really.
So folks, now we've seen a little bit into a mom and pop operation, one-man show, how it looks on the ground level. Let's go back to Austin, Texas, where they're doing it on a large-scale operation and have recently had battles with the Supreme Court. You had a recent Supreme Court case, 2023. Tell me about it and what happened.
There's not much to say. You go to Supreme Court, you lose. That's the education I've got in this country. We were doing something not legal, not technical.
So basically, it's legal to have a gun that's a ghost, but you
and when we left,
can't just
we knew that we had
kill
lost.
nobody with
On paper, there are rules and regulations about how you can make a gun in this country, how you can buy one. And the Biden people came in and said, okay, what we're going to do is we'll take the definition of a gun and explode that to mean as many things outside of an actual gun as possible. You know, anything's a gun if you think about it. If it's marketed as becoming a gun, or if it could become a gun, or if someone buys it because they want to make it into a gun, well, therefore now, under the law, it is a gun. So they had taken the container of the word firearm and tried to pack as much into that word as possible in the law. Our position was very simple. Doesn't the law mean certain things? Don't words have legal meanings? Don't they only mean certain things? Can ATF by itself, without an act of Congress, just say these words mean new things? We say that that's not possible. We go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says, well, sometimes the ATF can do that.
My name is Michael Cargill. I'm the owner of Central Texas Gun Works, which is a gun store in Austin, Texas.
You had a battle with the Supreme Court. Tell us about it.
Yeah, not a lot of people can say that they went up against the United States government. They went up against the Department of Justice, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, BATF. Both administrations, Trump administration and Biden administration, and actually won. It started, back with the Las Vegas shooting. So Las Vegas, a guy allegedly took an AR and a part, which was a bump stock, and attached it to a rifle. And he used that to shoot, faster, where he would allegedly shot some concert goers there in Las Vegas. So because of that, what happened was the government decided they were going to go through the ATF to ban the bump stock. One, how can you go through the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, an agency within the federal government, in order to do this? I said, you got to go through Congress if you want to ban something that people legally own and purchase. What I decided to do was surrender my bump stocks to the ATF when they banned them, and then 30 minutes later, we sued them in federal court. And so we go in the courtroom there, and the judge was like kind of confused. He kind of compared the bump stock to like a shotgun. He said, oh, I get it. It's like a shotgun. You pump it and then you fire it. It's like, no, that's not it. And then I said, this guy, this is a lost case. We're going to lose this case. And so we lost. He ruled against us. And we appealed again to the entire Fifth Circuit, which is heard en banc, which is heard by like 12 or 13 judges. And to me, that was the most intimidating court I've ever been in my life, where you have 13 justices sitting on the dais there, and throwing questions at your attorney left and right. What about this? What about that? Can you do this? What about machine guns? Da 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 da. And my attorney did a great job. And so we won. And not only did we win, the Fifth Circuit gave us everything. They gave us, the definition of a machine gun. They gave us the fact that the ATF, a federal agency, could not create or write law. And I was like, man, this is awesome. And so the government decided they were going to appeal that case tonight to the United States Supreme Court. It was really exciting to be in the United States Supreme Court, and we won.
What is concerning about the stories of Michael and Cody is their experience with the ATF attempting to create and enforce gun laws. Legally, a law has to go through Congress before the ATF can enforce it. For an example of this, just look at this footage of ATF agents visiting a Navy SEAL.
The reason why we're here is because I'm sure you're aware, just recently the ATF classified the FRTs, the force reset triggers, as machine guns. We are aware that
damn
we
lie.
purchased some of these FRTs.
Okay, that's incredible. Yeah.
Have to pick them up. They're little.
So I won't be answering any questions today. I don't have any comments on this subject. I won't be giving you anything.
Okay, so you
Are you refusing to give us the triggers?
I'm not refusing anything. I won't be answering any questions.
They were there to confiscate a forced reset trigger, a part that was legal when the man bought it. And it shows a disturbing trend, where a law-abiding citizen can be turned into a criminal simply because a federal agency changed its mind without a single vote in Congress.
Like, to me, there seems like a light and dark side of what you do. On one end, there's the shits and giggles side of it, where it's just little funny shit. On the other end, someone's gonna get smoked or something like this.
You're right about that, but I mean, I feel the same way for any OEM gun.
So it's similar to what a gun manufacturer would say. Hey, I'm Smith & Wesson. We're doing quite well this year. What people do with them, that's their choice, that's their responsibility. I just am the creator. Just like knives, just like cars, just like anything that could be used as a weapon or a utility. It's up to the person, it's out of your hands once you make it.
Yeah, their responsibility, their choice is not something you can control. So I don't actively go out and try selling them for profit,
What's the most you've made in a month doing this?
It's been more of a hobby, but it's more of the drugs that I sell, the funness kind of.
If ATF kicked in your door and they found this, all this, what kind of time would you be looking at, you think?
I don't even know.
You think double digits?
After we're doing this, maybe, because really so much of the heart of our operation is manipulating not even the real object, but the virtual object. Something really important happened after 2020, okay? And it's called the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon. This thing is $1,200 and it is on the money. And you are making quality gun parts, okay? This has changed everything.
Wow, and look how dexterous it is.
So fast, and all these micro compensations, all this physical adjustments. Okay, this is high-tech stuff, and it's affordable. This is ridiculously cheap. What you're seeing are 3 different Glock frames, G80 grip modules, being printed at the same time. They'll all be done within a handful of hours. This piece evolves from already printable Glock frames. We take what's regulated about that part and remove it. And then we create something that it's no longer a frame, because frame has a legal meaning. Now it's a grip.
There's so much legal dancing you have to do.
Yes, you have to be a kind of mystic. You have to be a wizard. You have to be a nerd. You have to be a lot of things. And among other things, you have to think like a criminal. You have to break the law in your mind first to know where the right design parameters are. Oh, if I make it this way, the law doesn't even see it. It's invisible to the law. That's the design choice. That's why it's made this way, so that the law truly is seeing ghosts, right? Looking for ghosts. That's why they call them ghost guns.
I think we need more people in America like Cody Wilson. People that are idealists, people that are almost on a religious crusade for the people, by the people, against the government. The state has gotten so overwhelmingly powerful that to have a voice that's willing to experience lawsuits across many states, or federal lawsuits, or bankruptcy, or even prison, I just admire someone's commitment to the cause. And I do feel like there's a rattling, especially amongst the younger people in this country, that we're so disenchanted, disenfranchised, that we are being energized into movement against the state. And I, as a proud American, appreciate that. Second Amendment, big thing in America. Do you believe that you should have the right to make your own guns at will?
Yes, I do believe that.
Can you speak about your overall philosophy about guns, about the Second Amendment, about the American right?
The reason I got into this business in the first place is because I wanted to make sure that everyone in my family had the tools needed to protect themselves. I wanted to make sure they had a gun. I wanted to make sure my family were proficient with firearms. I wanted to make sure they knew what the law was and how to react when stopped by law enforcement. So that's why, I got into the gun industry. And so my grandmother at 70 years old decided she was gonna, go back to college and get a college degree at 70. And so she went back to college because she wanted to become a nurse. While my grandmother was traveling from a library, sitting at a bus stop waiting for a bus to come, a guy came along, mugged her, and raped her. So because of that, I decided I wanted to make sure that everyone in my family, including the females in my family, had the tools they needed to protect themselves. I wanted them to get a gun, I wanted them to know what the law was, and I wanted them to be able to defend themselves and send those little bastards up the escalator to Jesus. So that's why I started selling guns. I teach the classes because, I wanted to make sure my family knew what their rights were.
So this is the Polymer 80. It's what caused the ATF to do their rule change. The difference between this and others is essentially the frame, this plastic part, is the firearm legally. The serial number, if it had one, would go there, but because we did it ourselves, we were not required under federal law or state law to put a serial number. So this is a ghost gun.
The frame is no longer a frame, legally speaking. It's no longer the firearm. This component is 3D printed, and the frame lives tucked within the gun. You can't tell it, but it emerges in parts. The gun hides within the presence of a gun. What you see is not the gun, it's what's inside, and that makes all the difference in the law. This is the G80. Let me show you what else you can 3D print. This thing doesn't just have to live in the footprint of a Glock, it can live in a totally different body. I want you guys to see what this guy does.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
So what you're looking at is that same G80, but we now have a 3D printed, what we call the PDW. The idea is something between a handgun and a full-size fighting rifle, somebody like a tank crewman or somebody in a rear area might have. Civilians have an interest in this because, as you see, I have a spare magazine that I can stow on the gun. So say like I'm a church security, this fits in a normal backpack. And if somebody shows up with a rifle, I have something that gives me a third point of contact, and I can engage that threat a little better with a little more precision than I would from a 2-point of contact handgun. So it's just a different form factor. It's one of many innovations we expect to see with the G80 product line.
The elements that are 3D printed are just this part?
Yeah, everything below the steel you see right here. So this body is 3D printed, and we will, when this comes to market, include the steel. So if you want to print your PDW body, you'll buy like this brace kit, and it will come to where you can just install this nut, slide it into the channel, and now you have a retaining nut. And it'll have a locking latch to keep it collapsed, and then you'll push the button to pull it out and deploy it.
I have a line in my head where you see someone with that and you're like, holy shit, it's Jason Bourne.
Nigga don't got a B gang. Nigga don't.
This could equally be, it's
with
almost
me.
timeless. It's
What?
such a foreign design, like
Sorry,
3D
you
printed guns
stupid
help
ass
you
boy
understand.
stuff.
Some designs are, this could be from the 1960s, from sci-fi. This could be from 20 years.
Nigga been spinning gang. Go
Where is
ask
this gun
Tony.
from?
Go ask 70
So you
seconds.
do have a
Go
great
ask everybody
pessimism about your life
on that block.
You think it's going to end by getting crushed by the government?
No,
Hey,
it's
fool.
just-
Hey, KJ.
You have to assume. You just have to assume. All right, these forces are too big. This government is too large. It is too
Yo.
impersonal, and it doesn't care
you want,
about
Blake?
you know the law or these little ideas that you have. It's almost all accidental. You have to understand
You
these are
talking to the hoes?
cosmic forces. It's like gods that don't even know that you exist. You know, you're less than an insect. You will be destroyed when you're near all of these forces. It just happens. That's what it is to be involved with this. So, what kind of
got me
artistic
mad
performance
tonight.
and
I might
study
go
develop?
slide.
You know, you have to think outside of these traditional left-right terms.
Now they've had
Might
more
go
than a
slide on
decade
nigga tonight,
about
you know?
doing this.
Oh no.
What are your immediate goals or things that you are trying
You
to
want
achieve?
to get on this shit now?
Yeah, my immediate goal is a thing called
Bitch,
G8.
bitch told me,
I watched
bitch
how
told me she'll
Biden
drop my
took
dot to
the best
somebody.
business
Gang.
in
I'm
the
like,
field,
bro.
Polymer 80, just wipe it out of business without a thought, really, and without much effort, right? Like, okay, we can fiddle with the definition of one word and collapse an American company. And some of that is because Polymer 80 collapsed under the weight of its own success. All right, well, luckily we're not successful, okay? Luckily we're more nimble for that reason. And we can teach, like we've always done, what's the name of this company? Defense Distributed. You can spread the IP out, you can push the sites of production around, it can be a network. You don't have to have one big business in this field. It will always be hobbyists and hackers and incels, this distributed kind of wave of people. We're teaching that. But another of my big goals is to show that, like, there was no success in crushing Polymer 80. That was nihilistic, it was naked, it was opportunistic. It wasn't a victory or accomplishment in the law or ideology. All that legal accomplishment did was push the products and the development and the technology the next level deeper. Okay, you can't make a frame now because it looks too much like a gun. Well, I'm gonna sell you something that doesn't look like a gun. You just make products that are more ambiguous.
What do you think that there's major gun companies like Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Beretta out there that can make millions and millions of dollars every year? So they can sell into Ukraine, they can sell into Israel, they can sell into countries that are actively at war. They have quarterly bonuses, they have stock options, no prison. But if someone finds this on you, it's a really big deal. What do you think about that kind of two-sided system?
I mean, obviously, I think it's but there's nothing you can really do about it. It's like everything else.
So do you have a bit of a nihilistic view on society? Like it's a bit f***ed, the big corporations win, the little guys get screwed, so might as well
basically, yeah.
Have fun while you're at it?
Yeah, exactly.
These gun manufacturers are, if they do business here and abroad, they're part of the military-industrial complex. And if we democratize where anyone could have a gun printer in their home, there are huge business interests that we're hurting. Do you suspect that's one of the biggest reasons, more so than safety, that this would be, why the government would be against ghost guns?
Yeah. When it comes to money, and those big corporations aren't making the money, or they foresee they're not going to make as much money as they used to, then they're going to do whatever they can to keep that, as anybody would. Anybody who has a monopoly on anything, like if you own all the pizza stores, for you to see somebody making their own pizzas, that's a threat to you. That's a threat to your family. That's a threat to your legacy, right? So if I was a gun manufacturer, I would try to do whatever I can to prevent it, but make you believe that it's for your safety. It's for the safety of little Johnny down the street. If you ever get charged with a crime, I'm currently licensed in the state of Texas, but there's a way for me to practice in other states. If you have a crime, call our office. I'll make sure that I protect all your rights, and I will intercept the prosecutor's attempt to put you away in prison for a long time or death penalty. Give me a call.
Folks, just a quick reminder, don't forget to click the link in the description and grab the CyberGhost VPN discount available to you. It keeps your data safe. You get to unlock block content, all just for $2.03 a month. It's risk-free, so check it out today. Thank you guys for watching.
Well, man, that's been your boy, 4 Switches, 2 Drinks. Discuss, by the way, I'm out this bitch, man. You already know that's the world of ghost guns. Tommy G, man. It's been your boy, Discuss, by the way, 4 Switches, man. Make sure y'all drop a motherfucking sub and smack that motherfucking like button before I get on all you niggas' ass. Love, gang. For now. Long live Vano, bitch.